You're looking live tonight in Urbana, where you can see tonight's snow there in the parking lot. For 16 days this month, our high temperature has been below freezing. But our team of meteorologists is tracking a big warm-up.
And for hours tonight, we've had a crew at this deadly crash.
Plus, he robbed a FedEx driver, but today we learned a judge is not sending him to jail.
Live, local, late-breaking. From the WHIO Broadcast Center in Dayton, this is News Center 7.
And tonight you'll feel single-digit lows with wind chills near zero. Hello.
Had killed his dad. They first arrested Edgar Kiter Jr. last year after they said he cut up his dad's body. But at the time, they did not have the evidence they needed for the murder charge. This case started when somebody found the victim's legs in a trash bag along this gravel road in Trotwood. Here's News Center 7's Mike Campbell.
This time, we will enter a not guilty plea to all counts.
The court will enter a not guilty plea on your behalf.
This court proceeding means that Edgar Kiter Jr., who walked into court facing only gross abuse of a corpse charges, is now officially accused of murder.
Generally, in cases of murder, the bond is set at around $1 million. So the court will set bond at that.
This case began on April 22 last year when a Trotwood man discovered severed legs inside a tarp not far from his driveway. Kettering and Trotwood police searched the victim's apartment in Kettering a few days later, and police said in court documents that appliances and carpets had gone missing from the apartment. Investigators went to this storage facility on Gunther Road a few days later on May 1st and found the rest of Kiter Sr.'s remains. The entire incident was shocking to those who lived close to the victim in Kettering.
They asked me if I seen anything through the day before, asked if I had any cameras up or anything.
Kettering police investigators identified Kiter Jr.'s son, Tegan, the grandson of the victim, as having knowledge of the crime, along with Kiter Jr.'s girlfriend, Amanda Reeve. They are now both facing charges in connection to the case, but it is Edgar Kiter Jr. that will now be tried for murdering his own father.
Publicly, we'll be back in court on the 4th and for the new trial date.
Prosecutors would not go into specifics on the new evidence they put in front of a grand jury to get the murder indictment, but investigators hinted money might have motivated the killing. And the bird flu is driving up egg prices, and they're hitting shoppers and businesses which need those eggs, like bakeries. We checked, and across Ohio, a dozen eggs is averaging close to $4.50. And it's not just Ohio seeing these problems.
Ultimately, what we've decided is that to absorb the cost for us and just like don't change like anything for our customers, because like we don't want to constantly adjusting our pricing.
That bakery was in Washington State, but other businesses have passed along costs to customers because their profit margins were already so small.
You never want to see this. An ambulance on its side. The fire department in Canton put this picture online. The ambulance collided with a car on I-70 in Stark County. Firefighters had to break out parts of the windshield to free the ambulance driver. Everyone is expected to recover.
And new at 11, it looks like voters in Dark County are going to not be allowed to vote on recreational marijuana dispensaries in their city. We're talking about Greenville. This is according to our news partner, the Daily Advocate. It reported a couple council members pushed the idea of allowing residents to vote on an ordinance at yesterday's council meeting, but a motion was rejected by the majority. The indefinite moratorium ordinance will appear again on the February agenda.
Today, a city manager in Miami County talked with us about the building that's about to take place in his city. Lock 9 Park in Piqua is part of several redevelopment projects in Miami County. The city manager told us the goal of the project is to make downtown Piqua an experience.
We're working on what we call Canali. It's a one-block section with some potential restaurants and nightlife.
Now this year, leaders say they'll finalize the design and construction should begin in 2026.
And looking at the new Oscar nominations, the Netflix musical Emilia Perez led with 13 nominations this year, including Best Picture and Best Actress. Academy voters liked Wicked as well. They got 10 nominations for Best Picture and for stars Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. 10 nominations for the epic drama The Brutalist, including Best Picture and 3 for acting. At the start of today's announcement, the Academy's leadership talked about how the LA wildfires have devastated so many in their community.
We will honor the talented filmmakers nominated today, pay tribute to our brave first responders, and celebrate the enduring spirit of Los Angeles and the film industry.
Conan O'Brien is hosting Oscars March 2nd, and you can see that right here on Channel 7.
Storm Center 7 Chief Meteorologist Austin Chaney joins us now. That snow today was a little bit heavy coming home.
Yeah, it sure was.
Now, getting home, there could be some slick spots.
Yeah, and the temperatures tonight, it's going to get down so cold that salt may get a little less effective eventually by tomorrow morning. So we certainly need to watch out for that. Out the door tomorrow morning, 9 degrees is my forecast overnight low temperature. Of course, we've had all that snow this evening. In fact, the snow is still falling across parts of the Miami Valley tonight, so certainly watch out for those slick spots by tomorrow morning, and giving yourself a few extra minutes to get to work or school would also be a good idea. Check in with our Daybreak team to let you know if we are indeed seeing those road issues out there. Now here's live Doppler 7 radar right now. The snow that's left is generally along and south of I-70, where it's no longer snowing and we're starting to see some breaks in the clouds. Look at how cold it already is. 14 degrees for us there in Greenville. We're at 17 there in Sydney. Still in the lower 20s the further southeast that you go. Now, as we send live Doppler 7 radar into motion tonight, it's kind of interesting to watch these snow showers. Every time they look like they're going to taper off, more just redevelops, and that's moving over the same locations again and again. Not expecting a lot of additional accumulation, but still, we've got some flurries out there. We have that extra moisture on the roads, so let's just take it easy traveling late tonight into tomorrow morning. Live look right now into Greenville. These roads were snow covered when it was really coming down earlier today. Looks like some improvement up there now, but notice they're still wet. So just treat that as a possibility that we could have some slick spots developing with that moisture out there tonight. Here's a look at Futurecast hour by hour, and just watch the temperatures drop towards tomorrow morning. Think about 9 degrees for us here in Dayton, maybe 8 degrees there in Troy, 6 in Springfield. It's going to be a frigid start to the day. But this is the worst of the cold left in our forecast. We go into tomorrow afternoon, mix of sun and clouds, still very cold, highs in the lower 20s, but we start to warm up after that. By Friday night and Saturday morning, we have these strong winds. They start to pick up out of the south. It's going to draw in some milder or less cold air for the weekend. So as we look at that weekend forecast, it's still going to be cold, but just not as bad. We say goodbye to the Arctic air, hello to some milder air trying to work in from the southwest, and that should get us at least above freezing, which again, cold, but an improvement. Here's your weekend forecast. On Saturday, I think a high of about 35 degrees during the afternoon. That should come with a mix of sun and clouds. There is a slight chance of some snow flurries, especially north of 70, but then Sunday should be dry and still another day above freezing at 33 degrees. We'll go long range on Futurecast, and Futurecast is just showing those specks of blue on Saturday, indicating that flurry chance again, mainly across the north. After that, we dry things out for several days. Monday, we get back to the sunshine. We're still warming up into next week, and then Tuesday is the day that I think we get back into the lower 40s. We'll leave you with a piece of good news as we go into tonight. Sunset this evening was at 5:46 p.m. You may have noticed the days are getting a little bit longer. Guess what? By the middle of February, 6:13 p.m. is that sunset time. We are getting to the better part of the year if you like those later sunsets. Here's my Storm Center 7-day forecast. 21 degrees tomorrow. That is the worst day temperature-wise in this forecast. We're climbing after that. I've got low 40s for Tuesday and Wednesday, and temperatures staying near seasonal averages once we get past our 7-day forecast.
We like that trend, Austin. Thank you. The ceremony changed the lives of more than 24 men and women today, and it very well may have inspired dozens of young people who were here to see it.